Hi guys.
Hi.
So today we're having our friends over, and we plan to have some games, but then we also want to surprise them by asking them to lead the Q&A session for us and
Yeah.
like throw us any question.
So we are doing a Q&A today. Our friends are coming over. They don't know that they are going to ask us questions. They don't know that we're going to shoot live.
They don't know.
And they have no idea what questions they are going to ask. So we
Neither
also
do we.
do not know what questions they are going to ask. So it's like totally blank.
Actually, I think I'm nervous. Like, what if they ask me that question that I don't want to answer?
What question is that?
That's the idea.
Oh my god.
So I hope we'll be fine though.
Yeah.
Normally we should script these things and just.
But then this is like totally unscripted. But I'm trying to be very polite.
Okay, my question is, what was your first couple fight, and what was it about, and then how did you resolve it? If you can remember.
I'm trying to remember.
That's the hard one.
Can you remember?
I can't remember our first fight, but I would imagine that.
Okay, any fight. Which fight can you remember? Or what was it? Okay, what was your last fight?
Okay, let's say one of the early quarrels we had, let's say that was significant was something. Okay, it was when we were trying to align. You know, when we started dating, we told ourselves like, you know what, we want to talk about our past, right? So we like started sharing, and at some point, I think there was one particular detail that I found out, and I felt like maybe she didn't share, and I was not happy.
I shared, but then I did not share in the details that you wanted.
Yeah. So when I found out later about the details, I'm like, come on. But I think before then, we had also agreed on how to resolve conflicts, right? So one of the things we said is that we will not go to bed angry. So we learned how to box issues, right? So maybe I offend her, she offends me, right? So I can actually tell her that, you know what, we'll come and deal with this thing tomorrow in the afternoon. We'll come and talk about it, like have a proper conversation. But right now, let's put it aside and, we live our lives. So that was one way. So, it just kind of helps us understand that there's an issue and there's the person, and they're like two different things.
Yeah. And I remember another thing is, relating to the same thing that he just mentioned, another thing is that basically I like to talk about things when they happen, as and when they happen, and trash it. But then when we started dating initially, I realized that he's the person that likes to maybe keep things or not talk about things immediately, maybe because of his emotions, and then wait and talk about it later. So sometimes I'll try and push him, and then it doesn't work out that way. But then eventually I think we're able to come to like an agreement. I don't remember.
I would say I learned how to open up. It was not something natural for me as a man growing up where we grew up. Men don't talk about how they feel. Like, you just learn to box things up. My dad was a military man. How do you want this start? You understand? So it's that thing we call maybe toxic masculinity, where you just, if you have an issue, you just deal with it, you internalize it and stuff. But I learned how to open up. It really helps our communication, because that's like the backbone of our relationship.
Which of you handles the money? I'm going to tell you why I'm asking, so that when I want to borrow money, I need to. So which of you wears the big pants when it comes to money in the relationship?
It's a difficult question, like really, because it's both of us. I cannot pinpoint which one of us. In terms of we both have oversights of our financials together.
Yeah.
I have my bank accounts. He has his bank account. But then I can go to his bank account and do something with it. I can use his card because I know his PIN. He can use my card. He can use my bank account when he sees the situation. So we don't have that segregation.
It's fluid actually.
Yeah.
Like, the line is blurry between like where my money starts and where mine stops and where hers starts.
Yeah.
Technically, like we have an idea of our net worth in our head, and it's spread across different accounts. Yeah, I would say. So it depends on who picks the call.
So the two of you have lived in a few countries and cities. What has been your best experience so far together as a couple?
I think Dubai was memorable. Like we still like remember Dubai because we spent like a month there. So Dubai was memorable. On top of the list, what would you think?
Yeah, I would still say Dubai was memorable because even just yesterday we were talking about how, was it even today?
Yeah.
It was today, we were talking about how we'd want to go to Dubai again, and this is not the first time we've said it. So we're like, okay, December, hopefully if we get some money, some bonus money somewhere, and then we don't have to travel to
Any little
place.
change.
Yeah, we'll go to Dubai. So I'll say it is Dubai. I
Yeah.
mean, traveling around Europe was also really interesting.
Where was beautiful in Santorini.
In Greece, yeah.
Then Prague was fun.
Oh yes, Prague was fun. So for Europe, I'll give it to Prague. And I always keep saying that Prague is highly underrated. It's a very beautiful place, very beautiful city, but you don't hear much about it. Yeah.
Okay. So, Ehimah, Ehimah and Na, we know how the love story began. At least I know what worked for Na, but I've never asked you what worked for you. We know that was worked for you. Like, what made you be like, okay, it's Na no that you want to set it.
I don't know if I should start from the story and maybe we'll just give a little background. We met in Kenya, 2018 March. At the beginning it was beauty and brains, right? Yeah. But then midway when I started like talking to her, I also realized that she was not just maybe academic brain, right? She was life smart. Yeah, and then we could communicate, we could talk. Somebody I can gist with, and she was also learned that because me I like to dive into different topics. We just talk about things, like sharing life experiences or whatever, very quickly. But then we didn't even there were no strings attached at that point. We didn't even think of maybe dating, even though I liked her like that. I mean, I remember the first. We went clubbing in Nairobi, I remember, and I think I tried to kiss her. No, I don't think. I tried to kiss her and she just gave me... I just gave me
Yeah.
What was the biggest cultural difference between the two of you, and how were you guys able to manage that cultural difference to form this formidable relationship?
My work in progress. So I would say, other than maybe how we pronounce these obvious things, but culture shock would be. I think we share a lot in our culture, right? Yeah. There's a lot, like we share a lot of food, we share maybe not language, but maybe for me, when I went to Ghana to see her, I would say the sanity in the environment was different. Right, so I think that would be the first thing. Like, the way Ghanaians are like chilled and calm was one thing. Like, Nigeria is like capitalist, chaotic, high energy environment, right? Everybody wants to make it, everybody wants to hammer, you want what you want and you want it now. So I think my real culture shock was not when we met, was when after we got married, I went to live in Ghana. And then I saw how chill people are. Like, I mean, I would tell, I had like car issues and I wanted someone to fix it. And I told the guy to help me like repair it. And he said that he had to buy parts and he has to go to the market. But because it's already 1 p.m, so he can't go today. And I just didn't understand what he was trying to say. Like, okay, you have to buy parts. Okay, so what's the issue? I said it's already 1 p.m, so he has to go tomorrow. I'm like, okay, it's 1 p.m, right? But then, what's the problem? He said because it's 1 p.m, he can't go to right? Because, before he gets ready and goes to the market. I was just thinking how in Nigeria you have like car issues on Third Mainland Bridge at 10 p.m. and you will come with you.
Full of
right? And they will come there and like fix your car for you, even if it's 1 a.m. And this guy couldn't help me go and buy something to change my steering by 1 p.m.
You know what? As funny as it is, when I lived in Nigeria for 1.5 years, I had the same culture shock when I got back to Ghana. Like the same thing with how people were so slow. I was getting really like angry almost all the time, especially with the banks. I didn't understand why people could not take bank transfers. I didn't understand why people will not have ATM POS, right? POS machines, like even in a hotel, no POS machine, or in a big supermarket. I'm like, what the hell? So I realized that thing, but I'll say for me, my biggest culture shock in Nigeria was the fact that people greet too much.
No.
Yeah. So then I think I people greet too much. When Ehimah's friends call me, hello, hi, how are you? I'm fine. What's up? What's cool? What they go on? I'm like, all these greetings, why? For me, I'll just say hi, and then I go on to talk about what I want to talk about. So I was not used to it, but I realized that that's how Nigerians are. Like, they really like to greet a lot. So that was it for me.
Where have you planned to go next for your holidays?
Okay, for holidays, we don't have any concrete plans now. I think over the years we have, because of our circumstances as well, we have learned to like plan on the fly. Like we have mastered chaos. Let me put it that way. Yeah, we can actually just decide to plan. I mean, it can be expensive, right, when you don't have like an upfront plan for travel. But sometimes we just find ourselves in that direction where we just settled like 3 months ago. Before then, we've been like all over the place.
Yeah.
So we don't have a plan, but I know when that time comes, like we'll just maybe decide to book a ticket and run somewhere. Yeah, but maybe the US. I don't know.
Yeah, but we're thinking about the US. We haven't been there.
No.
But we don't know yet.
When we grow up.
How was it like combining your MBA and being married?
Oh, it was one of the easiest things, I would say, compared to working now and being married. I would say that I would prefer the MBA option, really. So it wasn't that difficult. Well, the only difficulty was that we were in 2 separate countries, but then the easy thing in that was that it was Germany and France, and it's very easy to get a cheap flight from France to Germany, vice versa. So we kind of like were seeing each other at the almost every possible time, right? So I'll say that maybe if I have one short break between my period, because my MBA was intense at some point, I would go to Germany, or if he has some leave that he can take, he comes to France, or if he can work remotely, he's in France with me while I'm doing my MBA. So that's how we planned along with it. And I think it was okay. And trust me, I would prefer that over working.
Okay, and then to add, I mean, there were like different measures from both sides, right? She was in school, I was working. One of the things that I tried to do was to match her pace, right? So for instance, case in point, when she has exams, it gets very intense, right? She's studying like maybe 12 hours a day, or maybe, and then you have classes and all that. So what I did was when she's studying in school, I would take my laptop and also go to her school when I'm in France. You understand? And then just because it helps when you're on the same frequency, it kind of helps me not to like feel bored or like neglected. Right? Even though I understand that this is a situation, but then like I'm still a human being, right? So what I could just do then was, okay, she's going to school to study. I carry back to her, I follow her. And she's studying, I'm also studying, maybe like, from personal development, whatever, I work there and all that. So that kind of also helped me not feel for those period of time.
How do you guys motivate each other in the relationship, like to excel in life?
Okay,
What
yeah. So then we quarrel to motivate each other, and we do that like almost every time. If Ehimah realizes that I'm dragging my feet and I'm being lazy, maybe I have a plan that I've discussed with him, because he always knows my plan. He always knows what I want to do, like maybe what I want to learn in terms of personal development. So this is me talking about personal development, right? And like he's always on my neck every time, and then I'm also always on his neck. It's just that he's more on my neck than I am on his neck. Yeah, but then I'm trying to match up with him because I feel like, okay, I also have to push and give him that same pressure, and that's how he is. That kind of person he is. he's a really great motivator, and I'll say that really I have been able to achieve this far because of his motivation and because of his help.
It's causing onion. But yeah, for real, that for me, one word for it is like, well, I mean, these are the times where you have to fight to align. For me, that's where I see it, because we are naturally people who, I mean, humanity, right?
We like comfort.
Yeah, so whether you like it or not, once there's peace and quiet, your body will just relax. So you have to keep talking at each other. It doesn't come with kind words, honestly. Yeah, especially when we have reminded ourselves where we want to be and like the journey we have decided to take. It's not a small something. And when you now live in London with billions.
So you're Ghanaian, you're Nigerian. What was the reaction from your families when you introduced each other? And did you experience any form of resistance because of the difference?
Yes. So let me talk because it was from my end. So yes, I experienced a form of resistance that I was never expecting. I actually thought that my parents would be receptive to anybody I bring home. In fact, I've asked my mother before. So far as the person is a Christian and has good character and all of that, she's fine. But then, when I told my mother that I have a Nigerian, even by then we're not even dating, right? But they were not dating. When I told my mother that, so those times I used to talk to my mother about maybe any guy that was in my life. We used to like talk about it and discuss it. She knew like all my boyfriends. My father hardly knew. There was only one boyfriend aside Ehimah that he knew. I mean, before I got married. But my mom used to know all of this. And I told her about it, and surprisingly I was really shocked at her reaction. Because that day my sister had to come in like help calm her down. That first day that she got to know, and she was like, no Nigerian in this house. No Nigerian in this house. I'm not coming. I'm not attending whatever it is. So that was her stance for a while. And I was worried about it, and I told him about it. But we discussed everything. When I say everything, we discussed everything. And, well, except that little detail that I didn't tell him before. But when I told him, he was not worried about it. He was like, oh, things will work out. Things will work out. And surprisingly, at a point I was not expecting, things really worked out. It was a time when he came to Ghana for my brother's wedding. And that was the first time I was meeting my family. And he met my parents. They sat him down. They had some discussions. And it got to the point where he even drove my mom. My mom allowed him to drive her. That was the point I got to. And I didn't even expect that I was going to get to that point. Because for me, I was already preparing my mind for the fact that my mother might say no and how I was going to proceed with it. I was already at that point. Because I didn't see any turn. We had discussed it. And just them meeting him, his personality, his person, like getting to know him, just changed everything. And I would say that also his relationship with my siblings, I think it was also a great influence because my siblings, all of them liked him, and they kind of like push. So my house is like a democracy house where majority rules, right? Where they kind of like push. And they kept saying that Ehimah is a really nice person, Ehimah is a really nice person, like this and this and this. I felt like it just turned everybody's mind. And that was it.
From my side, there wasn't any resistance.
Democracy.
I mean,
in my house.
Okay, to that point of you're bringing her home, I think that was where there would have been a resistance. Because after we got married, I didn't bring her home, in quotes. I went to Ghana to live here, which is not the pattern that people are used to, right? I mean, we traveled all the way. I traveled with my family to Ghana to get married, and everybody expecting us to come back with a bride. But I had other plans. Right? So I told them, like, you know, you guys just move on. I have honeymoon to catch up here. And that was it. But I already had my plans. I mean, we already even like got an apartment. But the way I deal with my family was kind of a little different, right? You know, sometimes intention has to come after the act. Do you understand? Yeah, so it's easier to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Sometimes.
Yeah, so that was it. But there wasn't any resistance.
Yeah, his family were very receptive, and especially his mom, like really, really nice person.
Who is the traveler among both of you? Is it both? And who are to adjust adjust to the travel, and how did you do it?
Oh.
Okay, so I think she likes. For me, I'm just man. If you bring this, I will go. Technically, right? But she's the one who will, like, literally search out. Okay, this city. This is the place we're going. Before every trip, right? She has like a spreadsheet, right? And then we'll have something on Google Keep where we would plan out everywhere we want to go, and then she'll put it in our calendar. Like, it's so detailed. If you see how we plan our trips. First of all, we'll do like a spreadsheet. We'll go in on this day.
Model.
Yeah, like, do cost analysis or whatever.
Yeah, which one is
and then
better,
every single
train
place
or-
we have to go, every restaurant should have called and made all the reservations and put in our calendar. Like, it's yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's to that level of detail is what she does. So for me, I'm just like the frame.
Follow come.
Like, I just show up.
Show up the passport. Show up the passport.
Exactly. I just have to show up my passport, but she does like all the dirty work, all the reservations. Like, she's got this covered. She's paid. She's done this. She's done all the research. She knows the best restaurants. She checked the reviews, read the comments, the ones that have 1 star. She even filter it to 1 star and see why are people even giving it 1 star. Is it like one paying customer? Like, is it really bad? Is it like some people buy some like businesses can like pay people to just get good reviews and everything. So she's that detailed. For me, I just show up. Just show up.
Yeah, but then I would also say that even before we got married, we knew that both of us wanted to like travel. And travel to a number of places. I think we have even mentioned this Euro tour before we got married, right?
I think that was one of the first things that really, really made us like each other. Because when we met in Kenya, I think that was one of those conversations where we just start fantasizing and start thinking about the different possibilities of, like, traveling, like nomadic lifestyle. Even before this whole nomadic thing became a thing, right? We talked about how we want to really, really go to different places, and then she wants to go to Singapore, she wants to go to Tanzania, and all those places. And I'm like, wow, I'd like to go there, man. Nigerian passports. So we had all these big dreams of like really, really wanting to travel, like, and live outside, like, Africa.
Like that, like, who's fast things more?
Who's fast things
That's magic.
Yeah, I was too serious. Well, I have a serious question though, so, but
And I believe it.
You believe what?
Ehimah says
What he said. No, I'm not going to point myself.
so just the start, stop, continue thing. So between the two of you, or for both of you, what would you like each other to start, another to stop, and what you want each, to keep doing? Just to keep you
Start,
guys
stop,
going.
keep doing. I would say that I want you to start doing more of what you say you do. So Ehimah has a lot of maybe like ideas in his head where he has this that he can, and I know he can do it. So it's not like he doesn't have the skills or the technical know-how to do it. He has these ideas, and he says it a lot. And sometimes I want him to just start. And sometimes we argue about that. I'm like, come on, start. You like talking too much. Just start. So then that's it. Even though it sounds a bit vague, I want him to start doing what he talks about that he wants to start doing. And I think that the thing is that if there was something I wanted him to stop, I would have already told him and he would have already started stopping it. So I can't remember of anything as of now. Yeah. And what was the last one? Oh, a lot of things. Like keep taking pictures of me.
He knows the job.
Keep taking videos of me. Keep like bringing me food when I'm working and I have no break and I'm in meetings back to back. Keep like pushing me, even though sometimes it annoys me. Like pushing me to learn because I can do more than this. And he actually told me something that actually drove me because I realized that I actually can do more than I'm doing now. And sometimes you don't even know your full potential. Maybe you need somebody to remind you that, see, you were the one who used to do this and this back then. Like what has happened to you? And you realize that, nah, this is not me. So that was one conversation that we had recently. And I think that was the reason why I was able to sit down and do that website in a day. Yeah.
That was really cool.
Okay. Start, stop, continue. Start. What will start be? Okay, I will say stop. Stop. I already told you, right? I already told you, so it's not news. Stop minimizing your potential because you want to get some comfort. Right. So it's the feedback I already gave to her. Yeah. Sometimes when she wants to get comfortable, she will just, no, I can't do this, right? You know. And also because I like to give pressure. Stats. I can't think of any. But continue. Man, keep killing it.
Oh.
Keep killing it for you. I'm really proud of you.
Oh.
Thank you.
What is 5 times 10?
That's a very difficult question. So I think I have to count my fingers, right? 1. That's 50. Count those, is that correct? Is it 50? Oh wow!